Fundamental, social and economic rights. Fundamental rights. The defense of the human person and respect for his dignity are the supreme purpose of the society and the state. Every person has the right to life, his identity, his moral, psychical, and physical integrity, and his free development and well-being. The unborn child is a rights-bearing subject in all cases that benefit him. To equality before the law. No person shall be discriminated against on the basis of origin, race, sex, language, religion, opinion, economic status, or any other distinguishing feature. To freedom of conscience and religion, in an individual or collective manner. No person shall be persecuted on the basis of his ideas or beliefs. There is no crime of opinion. Public exercise of any faith is free, insofar as it does not constitute an offense against morals, or a disturbance of the public order. To freedom of information, opinion, expression, and dissemination of thought, whether oral, written, or in images, through any medium of social communication, and without previous authorization, censorship, or impediment, under penalty of law. Crimes committed by means of books, the press, and any other social media are defined by the Criminal Code and tried in a court of law. Any action that suspends or closes down any organ of expression or prevents its free circulation constitutes a crime. The rights of information and opinion include those of founding means of communication to request, without statement of a cause, information he requires, and to receive it from any public entity within the legal term, at its respective cost. Exception is hereby made of information affecting personal privacy and that expressly excluded by the law or for reasons of national security. Bank secrecy and the confidentiality of tax filings may be lifted by the request of a judge, the prosecutor general, or a congressional investigative committee, in accordance with the law and provided that such information refers to a case under investigation to the assurance that information services, whether computerized or not, whether public or private, will not provide information affecting personal and family privacy, to his honor and good reputation, to personal and family privacy, as well as to his own voice and image. Every person affected by inaccurate statements or injured in any social medium has the right to demand free, immediate, and proportionate rectification, other legal liabilities notwithstanding, to freedom of intellectual, artistic, technical, and scientific creation, as well as to ownership of such creations and to any benefits derived from them. The state promotes access to culture and encourages its development and dissemination. To the inviolability of his home. No one may conduct any investigation or search without authorization from the inhabitant or without a warrant, except in cases of inflagrant crime or serious threat of the perpetration thereof. Exceptions for reasons of health or serious risk are governed by law. To the secrecy and inviolability of private communications and documents, communications, telecommunications, or any private correspondence may only be opened, seized, intercepted, or tapped by the authority of a warrant issued by a judge and with all the guarantees provided in the law. Any matter unrelated to the circumstances under examination shall be kept secret. Private documents obtained in violation of this provision have no legal effect. Books, receipts, and accounting and administrative documents are subject to inspection or audit by the relevant authority in accordance with the law. Any action thus taken may not include removal or seizure, except by a court order, to choose his place of residence, to move freely throughout the national territory, and to leave the country and return to it, excepting restrictions for reasons of health or due to a court order, or to the application of the immigration, to peaceful assembly without arms. Meetings on any premises, whether private or open to the public, do not require prior notification. Meetings held in squares and public thoroughfares require advance notification by the relevant authority, which may prohibit such meetings solely for proved reasons of safety or public health. To associate and establish foundations and other forms of not-for-profit legal organizations, without prior authorization, and in accordance with the law, these organizations may not be dissolved by administrative resolution. To make contracts for lawful purposes, whenever they do not contravene laws of public order, to work freely, in accordance with the law, to property and inheritance, to participate, individually or in association with others, in the political, economic, social, and cultural life of the nation. Citizens, in accordance with the law, have the right to elect, remove or revoke public authorities, and to legislative initiative and referendum, to keep his political, philosophical, religious, or any other type of conviction private, as well as to keep professional secrets. To his ethnic and cultural identity, the state recognizes and protects the ethnic and cultural diversity of the nation. Everyone has the right to use his own language before any authority by means of an interpreter. Foreigners enjoy the same right when summoned by any authority, to submit petitions in writing, individually or collectively, before the competent authority, who is obliged to respond to the interested party also in writing within the legally prescribed term. Under penalty of law, members of the armed forces and the national police may only exercise their right to petition in an individual manner. To his nationality, any person be deprived of the right to obtain or renew his passport inside or outside the territory of the Republic. To peace, tranquility, enjoyment of leisure time, and rest, as well as to a balanced and appropriate environment for the development of his life. To self-defense, no one is obliged to do what the law does not command. Slavery, servitude, and traffic in human beings are prohibited in any form. To freedom and personal security. In consequence, there is no prison because of debts. No one shall be prosecuted or convicted for any act or omission that, at the time of its commission, was not previously prescribed in the law expressly and unequivocally as a punishable violation, or did not constitute an offense penalized by law. Every person has the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. No one may be arrested without a written warrant issued by a judge for a cause or by police authorities in cases of crime. The arrested person shall be placed at the disposal of the relevant court within 24 hours or within the time required for travel. In the cases of crime, police authorities may make the preventive arrest of those allegedly involved, to last no more than 15 calendar days. They shall notify the office of the prosecutor general and the judge, and the latter may assume jurisdiction before that period of time expires. No one may be held uncommunicated, except where it is considered indispensable for the resolution of a crime and in the form and for the time provided by law. The authority is obliged by law to report, without delay and in writing, the place where the individual under arrest is detained. No one shall be a victim of moral, psychical, or physical violence, nor be subjected to torture or inhuman or humiliating treatment. Any individual may immediately request a medical examination for the injured person or someone who is unable to appeal. Social and economic rights. The community and the state extend special protection to children, teenagers, mothers, and the elderly in situation of abandonment. The national population policy aims to spread and promote responsible parenthood. It recognizes the right of families and individuals to decide. It is the right and duty of parents to educate and protect their children. Children have the duty to respect and aid their parents. Everyone has the right to protection of his health, his family environment, and his community, just as it is his duty to contribute to their development and defense. The state recognizes the universal and progressive right of each person to social security for his protection from contingencies specified by law, and for the elevation of his quality of life. The state guarantees free access to health benefits and pensions through public, private, or joint agencies. It also oversees their efficient operation. Social security funds and reserves are intangible. The aim of education is the comprehensive development of the human being. Parents have the duty to educate their children. Education promotes knowledge, learning, and the practice of the humanities, science, technology, the arts, physical education, and sports. It prepares individuals for life and work and encourages solidarity. The law sets forth the tax provisions that will govern the above-mentioned institutions, as well as the requirements and conditions to be met by cultural centers that, by way of exception, may enjoy the same benefits. For private educational institutions that generate revenues legally defined as profits, the income tax may be applied. Professional associations are autonomous institutions recognized by public law. Work is a right and a duty. It is the foundation for social welfare and a means of self-realization. Work, in its diverse forms, is a matter of priority concern for the state, which provides special protection for working mothers, minors, and persons with disabilities. The state promotes conditions for social and economic progress, in particular through policies aimed at encouraging productive employment and work education. No one is obliged to work without pay or without his free consent. The worker is entitled to adequate and fair compensation that ensures both himself and his family material and spiritual well-being. Payment of wages and social benefits for the worker takes priority over any other obligation of the employer. Minimum wages are regulated by the state with participation of representative organizations of workers and employers. The normal workday is 8 hours, or the normal workweek is 48 hours, at the longest. In the case of cumulative or atypical workdays, the average number of work hours during an equivalent period may not exceed that maximum. Workers have the right to weekly and annual paid vacations. This benefit and compensation are regulated by law or agreement. The following principles must be respected in labor relationships: equal opportunity without discrimination, inalienability of the rights recognized by the Constitution and the law, interpretation in favor of the worker in cases of insurmountable doubt on the meaning of a regulation. The law grants the worker suitable protection against unfair dismissal. The state recognizes the right of workers to join trade unions, to engage in collective bargaining, and to strike. It ensures their democratic exercise by guaranteeing freedom to form trade unions, encouraging collective bargaining, and promoting peaceful settlement to labor disputes. Collective agreements are binding in the matters concerning their terms, regulating the right to strike so that it is exercised in harmony with the social interest. It defines exceptions and limitations. The state recognizes the right of workers to share in enterprise profits and promotes other